everybody, and welcome back to Saint-Jean-d'Angely, the venue for round 17 of the FIM Motocross World Championship. This is the MXGP of Charente-Maritime. We're an hour and a half north of Bordeaux on the west coast of France, and not a million miles away from the harbour town, if you like, of La Rochelle. We've been coming here to this particular venue since 1984, where the first winner was Heinz Kinnigadner. But when you hold a French GP or a GP on a French track, we've actually taken place at 42 different venues since 1957, that first ever MXGP of France being at Montreux. Leslie Archer on a 500cc BSA winning that one, unbelievably. But the Motor Club Algérien now in its 90th year this season, and if all goes to plan, then this partisan crowd here and over there on the background, the French crowd could have something to cheer about, with Tom Vialle, Thibault Benistant, Maxime Renault, Romain Febvre all looking to secure victory here at home if they can. If you're joining us for the first time, it's a very warm welcome here to Saint-Jean-d'Angely. The start straight about 90 metres long into that first turn, but Sector 1 starts at the finish line, the dark grey zone. A couple of corners later, top of the hill, we enter Sector 2. Then Pastrana's Leap, their long downhill jump, which is Liqui Moly. That's where Sector 3 starts, and Sector 4 begins as they re-emerge on the start straight. Fans packed in here once again, as you would always expect at any GP held in France. This one, the MXGP of Charente-Maritime. But a little earlier on, we had MX2 Race 1. If you were joining us for the first time and you missed it, here's how the highlights went. Here's what happened in that first MX2 race. Coming into MX2 Race 1, Jago Geerts, number 93, the championship leader, and Tom Vialle separated by just 15 points with 2 rounds remaining. Over the Fox Holeshot line for the first time, Andrea Adamo, but Kevin Hortmo went left instead of right. At the top of the hill, though, Adamo under pressure immediately from Thibault Benistant and Tom Vialle, and they were pretty soon past the Italian. Langenfelder also, and then Jago Geerts got himself around Adamo, and then Langenfelder here crucially to move into third as Roman de Moosdijk fell from 5th place. He would eventually come home in 13th. Thibault Benistant tried to pull clear from Vialle, who was coming under close scrutiny for the entire race from the number 93, Geerts. If it stayed as it was, the championship lead would be reduced by another 2 points. Kai de Wolf having one of those races, that wouldn't be the first time we'd see him on the deck. Geerts thought he'd struck here, but he was squeezed by the Frenchman Vialle in what was a tight challenge for that second place. He tried again at the bottom of the hill, but instead of being able to cut through, he just ran a little bit deeper, lost a little bit more valuable ground. This was the second time we saw de Wolf on the ground. He tagged the inside of Kevin Hortmo, who then hooked him up with his foot peg, dragged the bike downhill, and the Moosdijk eventually came home in 14th place. Tom Vialle had a lucky escape, hit 2 tough blocks. That allowed Geerts to gain an advantage again. But then as the race neared its end, he lost vital ground. But it was Thibault Benistant with his 4th race win of the year, edging out Tom Vialle, Jago Geerts, Simon Langenfelder, and Mikkel Hara. That was your top 5. A French 1-2 in race 1. Let's go down to Lisa then. She caught up with Kevin Hortmo. Before that, Jan Panzer.
So MX2 Race 2 is about to get underway, but let's speak to a couple of guys beforehand. The first being Jan Panzer. Jan, that first race, it was quite a tough one, wasn't it? Just tell us what happened at the start, because you struggled to recover from that.
Second corner I crashed, so I just had to come from behind, and the track is really one line, so I was working hard to come to the front, but get a little bit arm pump, and then it was really hard, but I will try to do better in the second moto.
Well, just looking at the championship standings with 2 rounds to go, currently you're 12th in points. It is possible to get 10th. Is that your ultimate goal for these last few rounds?
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be easy, but I will try to do my best. I just need to, I think, do every moto the best I can, and then we will see what will happen.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Jan. Okay, let's catch up with F&H Kawasaki Racing's Kevin Hogmo. Kevin, again, let's speak about that first race. What actually happened? Because it looked like at one point you were trying to steal Kai de Wolf's bike.
Yeah, like I crashed in the start. I went through the fence there and had to come from behind there. And yeah, got together with Kai when I tried to pass him in the tight section there. We got together and yeah, I think just the bike hooked onto my foot peg, so did made me lose a little bit of time, but it was not too bad.
Okay, well, looking at this track compared to Finland last weekend, where it was bumpy but quite flat, here you've got the steep hills, you've got the braking bumps. In terms of settings with the bike and changes, do you have to make them from one GP to the next?
Yeah, for sure, some small changes, but not too much, just to balance off the bike. But yeah, yesterday I struggled a bit, but I feel like I turned it around for today. Like, I felt good in the warm-up, and also in the end of the first race, I just had that start crash and was struggling a little bit in the beginning. So hopefully I start like I ended that first race.
Best of luck for this one. Thank you. Okay, good luck to the guys. It's time for MX2 Race 2.
Let's take a look at the top 5 riders in the championship then, as the fans get geared up for the start of this second MX2 race. After race 1, Jago Geerts now has a 13-point advantage. It was 15 at the start of the day. Vialle just edging him out when he finished second to Jago Geerts finishing third. So 13 behind Jago Geerts. Langenfelder out on his own in third. Hogmo likewise in fourth, but he has a 28-point buffer over Thibault Benistant, who obviously with those 25 points is gaining ground on the Norwegian. And here we are, look, right at the end of the season. We have 1 round to go after this one. That'll be in 2 weeks' time, the Bitchi MXGP of Turkey at Afyon Karahisar. 2 weeks after that, we are at the Monster Energy FIA Motocross of Nations at Redbud. And that is on the 23rd, 24th, 25th of September. So make sure you can join us for that. It will be the biggest event on the calendar. Here's how the riders line up for MX2 Race 2. Same as MX2 Race 1. Tom Vialle on pole for the 5th time this year. Lining up alongside him, Thibault Benistant. Liam Everts and Tom Guyon, the 2 KTM riders with their best qualifying positions of the campaign so far. Then we've got Roman Mostijk, Simon Langenfelder, Andrea Adamo. Jago Geerts had an eventful qualifying. He fell from 3rd down to 12th, got himself back to 8th, but it hasn't dampened his spirits none. Jan Panzer goes to line 9th, ahead of Kevin Hogmo and the rest. As you can sense here in France, atmosphere really building now ahead of MX2 Race 2. There is your winner from Race 1, Thibault Benistant, Monster Energy Yamaha. Can he do it again and make it 5 wins for the season? Can he win his home Grand Prix? Tom Vialle will be asking the same question. Can he win the home Grand Prix? He was victorious at Ernée when we were in France a few rounds ago. He was second in race 1 here today. He knows a reverse of those positions will guarantee him the top step. And if he finishes ahead of the number 93, Jago Geerts, he will gain more ground on the Belgian. Roman Mostijk will be hoping for better than 13th this time around than the Stan Husqvarna rider. And so too, Jago Geerts knows he can't afford any more slip-ups if he is to maintain a healthy advantage over Vialle going into the final round in 2 weeks' time. Almost all the riders then behind the gate. There's Kevin Hogmo under the watchful eye of our cameraman there, the F&H Kawasaki rider. Through the fence at turn 1, got himself back to 10th. And again, he'll be hoping to minimise mistakes this time out because he's getting caught by Thibault Benistant, who's just 28 points behind the Kawasaki rider. Those two 4th and 5th in the championship standings. Ingo Parchar, FIM race director, then signals the green flag, and the Fly Racing 15-second board to go up for the final time today for MX2 Race 2. Big hits us to the inside. Look, Tom Vialle, Tom Guyon, Thibault Benistant, they are in the first 3 gates. Who will it be that grabs that all-important Fox Holeshot? Geerts in front of the FC Moto Bano, so they're the top 2 in the championship. Oh, I tell you what, perfect jump there from, was that Cosmakers? I think it was. But it's Guyon into the first turn. To the outside of him is Thibault Benistant. And Vialle will squeeze everybody tight at turn 2 and take over the lead. And that is exactly what he needs. Geerts there buried in about 6th place. Look, at the top of the hill behind the 11 of Hara. So Vialle with free rein at the front of the field. This could be a crucial turning point in the MX2 Championship title race. Benistant tripling up on the opening lap, and he gets alongside, but not past Vialle. A 1-2 once again, but in the reverse order. But Benistant looking keen to find his way past the KTM ahead of him. Geerts in 6th place. 3rd is Guyon. 4th, Harrop. 5, Ryan van der Moosdijk. A drier racetrack than we had as Geerts looks to go around the outside here at the bottom of the hill. Can't afford to go too tight at the top because he might get hooked up behind Harrop. And he can't afford to go too wide because he may leave the door open as well. But look at Vialle, top of the screen, already starting to pull clear on this opening lap. Geerts with a lot of work to do from there. His starts have been so on point the last, 3-4 rounds. Letting him down today. Up onto the plateau. Benistant doubles in, almost gets alongside Vialle. Opposite scrubs, and it's going to take the outside line here. He might find a way through at the bottom of the hill if he commits. Vialle knew he was there. He closes down the door though. French 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Vialle, Benistant and Tom Guyon on the VRT KTM Verities machine. The whole of the pit lane straight advantage over Geerts, who's now up in the 5th place because Harrop is losing ground. He's down to 12th, 13th place. He was in 5th place. And he emerges in 16th place. Tripling up again. It was the only MX2 ride. Well, there you go. Mikkel Harrop going down at the end of that straight. Out of 5th, just shakes his head as he picks himself back up. Costly error for the Dane. There was only 2 riders tried that uphill triple in practice yesterday. Benistant was one of them. But not able to make the pass in the same way we've seen it effective in MXGP. But he still has it up his sleeve. The difference is you've got to go so far wide out of that penultimate turn to make it happen. Both these riders will be absolutely fueled with adrenaline, with the roar of the home crowd. Jago Geerts already 5 seconds off the lead at the moment as he's parked there in 5th place. Put the flag out now, the championship lead down to 4 points. That's exactly what Vialle needs. It's not what Jago Geerts is after though. Crunch time here in France. He will be hoping for some help from his teammate Benistant if he can find his way into the lead, take away 3 crucial championship points. But Vialle, once he's in this position, not keen to relinquish, is he? Very rare that he makes a mistake whilst leading. It's not that it's never happened before, but very rare that it does. Look at Tom Guyon. Not letting these two off the hook. The number 27 having the ride of his life at the moment in 3rd place. Ryan van der Moosdijk in 4th on the Nissan Husqvarna. Geerts behind him. The Montra in his Yamaha top of the hill. It's the kind of ground that he's got to make up. Again, Benistant decides this time to go double single and then park it to the inside just to try and gain back some valuable ground. As they hit the line this time at the end of lap 2, it's only 6/10 in it between 1st and 2nd, Vialle and Benistant. Geerts still hovering around 4.5 seconds off the leaders. Can't afford to sit behind Ryan van der Moosdijk. Here, number 39. And the Dutchman will just stay defensive, and he'll make the 93, the championship leader, just work overtime just to try and make the pass happen. Options are minimal. Hardly any, in fact, this weekend. So it's going to be a frustrating race for Geerts. But Vialle continues to lead. Benistant, Guyon and van der Moosdijk. top of the hill. Tom Guyon latching on to the 198 of Thibault Benistant here. Third place. Watch this here from Thibault Benistant a couple of laps ago. He's done it every lap so far, apart from one. Just doubling in. Most riders doing the same, but he just obviously got a little bit more momentum. Look at Tom Vialle starting to pull clear, though. Absolutely perfect scenario for the number 28. As he plunges downhill, the gap opening up, though, between first and fifth place. Vialle and Geerts, Orgmo up to 7th, Adamo now down to 8th place. De Wolf 9, Carsmakers 10. No answer at the moment to the rider ahead of him, Jago Geerts. He can't afford to back off, can't afford to give up. Every time Vialle drops downhill, looks across and sees Geerts coming up in the opposite direction, he will know he's picking off points from his rival. See the frustration there and mistakes from Geerts. Needs to keep those to a minimum. Sun starting to come out above the Saint-Jean-d'Angely circuit. Circuit will dry out as a result of that. The ruts will get stiffer, firmer. The loose stones will come to the surface as well. Might not be so much a problem. Oh, and he's jamming down on the gear lever there, Jago Geerts. Got a big clump of mud underneath the gear shift. Had to give it a couple of bangs down just to free up the mud. Saw it fall away. But look at Vialle. Well, you would look at Vialle if you could see him. Vialle now 2.5 seconds clear of Thibault Benistant as we near the end of lap 4. Just over 22 minutes plus 2 laps to go. MX2 race 2 here. Round 17 of the FIM Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of Charente-Maritime. We are at Saint-Jean-d'Angely, southwestern France. Tom Vialle now 3.2 seconds clear. That's him top of the screen. Benistant second, Tom Guyon third, about a second and a half. It's still a French 1-2-3 with Vialle leading Benistant and Guyon. But Romain Mostike still being the blockade for Jago Geerts, who is parked there in 5th place. The championship leader arrived here with a 15-point advantage over this guy here, number 28, Tom Vialle. Vialle finished second in race 1. He's leading race 2. Geerts was third in race 1 and currently 5th in race 2. If it stays like this, the gap will just be 4 points at the top of the championship table with just 2 races remaining in Turkey at the final round in a week's time. Vialle came here knowing he had a job to do. That's exactly what he's doing at the moment. He is executing it perfectly. He's been in this position before where he's won a world championship. Is this going to be the difference that decides the final outcome? Oh, did Van der Mostike just catch the top block there? I think he did. Van der Mostike 39 on the Nestar and Husqvarna. Roar of the French fans as Vialle, Benistant, Guyon go through. First, second, third. Guyon now just starting to fade. He's falling into the clutches of Van der Mostike and Geerts, 39 and 93. As they close on the third place rider, Tom Guyon. Geerts rails the inside line. Can't make anything happen. He is being parked there. He knew from qualifying yesterday when he went from 3rd down to 9th and back to 8th that passing would be a luxury around here this weekend if he did not get the start. And that's exactly the situation he's in now, struggling to find a way past Romain Van der Mostike, who's no slouch, I might add, but he does get the Yamaha just ahead slightly, but a slight look over the shoulder there from the 39. kept the Belgian behind him. A frustrated figure, the championship leader at the moment. Makes his way through this time around. If he can find his way past Van der Moosdijk, it will be a 2-point game, because 25 points for the win, 22 second, 20 for third, 18 and 16, fourth and fifth. That's these two riders here. Oh, loses the front, somehow avoids the tough block. The Fox Holeshot goes to Tom Guyon in race 2. Finally, we get verification of that. Watch this here, Jago Geerts. He loses the front end around about now, and then almost catches a tough block there. Lucky escape for the 93. Got to regroup and go again. Closing back on. Closing back in on the Dutchman. Number 39, Rowan Van der Moosdijk. He gets to the inside. This time, the pass here, surely for fourth place, and it is. Geerts pulls another couple of vital points back. Right at the end of lap 6. Next rider in his line of sight, Tom Guyon, VRT KTM Verities, the number 27, who was fourth in the qualifying race. Lives about an hour from here, knows the track very well. And there he is, in white and blue, at the top of the hill in turn 8. Put in such a hard charge, Tom Guyon. Not surprising, really, that even in his rookie season, just losing Vialle and Benistant, who were already up and over the hill in the opposite direction. Geerts hoping at least for third in this race. Fresh pair of eyes on the rider ahead of him. Might be able to make this pass a lot quicker than the one, and he goes down! Everts goes through, so too does Rowan Van der Moosdijk. Fans on their feet, and he can't get it fired up. Finally he gets going. Jago Geerts loses out to Hogmo as well. Wow, drama here, and he's got problems with the handguard, possibly the front brake as well. What a turnaround here at Saint-Jean. Geerts out of fourth place, re-emerges in 7th. He has a mountain, a monumental mountain to climb now. World Championship nerves. He made the pass for fourth here on Rowan Van der Moosdijk. He got his head down, he went after Tom Guyon. They liked it down there in pit lane, but they weren't so keen on this. Folds the front, tips over. Van der Moosdijk, Everts and Hogmo say, don't mind if we do so. Pressure at the highest level here in the World Championship. 2 points the gap between first and second. At the top of the standings, Geerts on 7:10, Vialle on 7:08. .5 minutes plus 2 to go. Tom Vialle heading stateside next year. He would like to go there as a 2-time world champion. Jago Geerts has his own destiny in his own hands. 15 points at the start of the day. It's down to 2 now. Of course, he would love to win a first world title in 2022, but making it hard for himself. And with 15 minutes to go, he has still a lot of work to do for the Belgian. Tom Vialle hitting all of his lines, all of his markers. Bike just stepped out of the rut a little bit there, though, at the bottom of the hill, but hasn't cost him any time. He is streaking clear. He had a 4.3 second advantage a moment ago over Thibault Benistant, the Red Bull KTM rider. Benistant 4.3 seconds further back, 0.3 slower. Tom Vialle, already a two-time winner at his home Grand Prix, La Capelle-Marival, last year, 2021. Erne earlier this year, 2022. So going for a hat-trick of French Grand Prix victories. Tom Vialle on the Red Bull KTM. Of course, he's already on the list of French Grand Prix winners, but winning here at Saint-Jean-d'Angely, he will join Michael Pichon, Sébastien Pourcel, Marvin Musquin, Stephen Frossard and Romain Fevre at Saint-Jean-d'Angely. Right, lap times. Jago Geerts now in 7th place. And he makes another mistake at the bottom of the hill as we go to Lisa with Yamaha.
Jeremy, we saw Jago make a mistake there. I mean, for his point of view, he really needs to dig deep. But are championship nerves creeping in? And it's a difficult place to be if they are.
Yeah, for sure. On the beginning, it was not so bad. The start is not like we want, but he keeps going. He makes small mistake for sure over there, but because he pushed to be back for the fast guy. But I think now he needs to be focused, make the best is possible this race, and then to pick for the last GP.
Best of luck to the team. Thanks, Jeremy.
You can't have written the script in terms of the final stages of MX2 World Championship. Wonder how much more damage he picked up on the motorcycle. Obviously, there was maybe something on the handlebar, maybe just the handle, the right guard on the right side of the handlebar there. But he is currently lapping in 1:53 lap times at the moment compared to the 50s and the 52s of everyone else around him. Liam Everts, Stiga Procross KTM, number 72, looking to find a way past Roman and Mostike and into 4th place. But Vialle now 7 seconds clear of Thibault Benistant. Tom Guyon having the ride of his life, as was already said, in 3rd. And the Mostike 2 seconds behind the Frenchman. There he is, just going out of sight, Guyon. Can he keep this up for the next 12 minutes plus 2 laps, though? The number 27. Vialle, fastest rider on the track. That time around, a 1:50.6. 52.8, 52.9, 52.7. Benistant, Guyon, Van der Mostijk. Everts, also 52.7s. But he's not going to find a way through past the Dutchman at the bottom of the hill. Van der Mostijk there in white, number 39. Back down the home straight. Gets into the 52s that time around. But he's still 8.6 seconds behind Kevin Horgmo in 7th place on the F&H Kawasaki. Horgmo coming into view now, just behind Everts, top of the hill on the Kawasaki. Can Everts find a way through? Is there anything that Geerts can do to pull back a couple more points in the later stage of this race? We've still got 10.5 minutes plus 2 laps to run. He might rely on Tom Guyon just backing everybody up here as Stiga Procross look on. If Guyon just starts to falter, he'll have Van der Mostijk, Liam Everts, Kevin Horgmo backing up behind him, possibly. Might play into the hands of Geerts, but as we've seen around this Saint-Jean-d'Angely racetrack, catching is one thing, overtaking a whole different kettle of fish altogether. 7th place might be as good as it gets for the Belgian. Here he is. There's his nearest rival, top of the hill, Kevin Horgmo. Looked like he broke traction on takeoff there. (51.8). Geerts 51.5. Horgmo, not big enough margins. 52.5 though for Everts. So we may just see Geerts close in, but might not be able to make passes on these guys. Roman Mosdijk reacting well to the threat from behind. Liam Everts in orange. Everts, the son of the GOAT in terms of World Championship racing. 10 world titles, 101 Grand Prix victories. Stefan Everts, of course. 11 laps complete. Roman Mosdijk, race 1 was 13th. A fall on the second lap left him down in 17th. Wasn't able to recover too well from there. His teammate, Kai de Wolf, currently in 8th place. Had a similar kind of race. 12th up to 10th, down to 14th. That's where he stayed. As it stands in the championship right now, as Vialle heads uphill, that's the gap to second. Benistant coming down in the opposite direction on the Monstrelis Yamaha. Great ride this from Tom Guyon, VRT KTM Verities. His home GP, quite literally, an hour or so down the road. Despite a 10-second advantage, Harry Norton still shouting and urging his man on, Vialle. 9.2 seconds a gap as he hits the next split. Relentless this from Vialle. Talk about turning the screw. Rubbing salt in the wounds. ...12 laps complete. Another 1:51 lap time. 51.7 for your race leader on the Red Bull KTM. Thibault Benistant over the line now. 1:52.1. So about 4 or 5 tenths in it. That gap 9.6 seconds. The podium will belong to Tom Vialle on 47 points with a second and a first. Thibault Benistant here would be second overall with a first and a second. In the event of a tie, the best result in race 2 counts. Jago Geerts would be on the podium, third overall, but that would be little consolation. 34 points for him. A massive loss at the top of the championship table. 3rd and 7th is where he is again, and he's fallen again. Jago Geerts, before the finish line, he was 8 seconds clear of de Wolf. So his race really falling apart. So he's still 8 points. No, he's still there in 7th. He'll maintain the championship leader's red plate. So he does pick himself up in 7th position, but he's been down on his right side. Just needs to regroup. Easier said than done, though, in the heat of the championship battle. So Jago Geerts still occupying 7th place, 8 seconds clear of Kai de Wolf. He fell just a few moments ago. Cost him some time in any chance of going back after Horgmo, who's now 17 seconds clear. And it's his left-hand guard now that's up in the air. Another dab for the 93. Left-hand guard look up in the air, above the left hand. What a turnaround of events here at Saint-Jean. So, a lap ago, he got over the jump And he fell in this turn here, so he must have got cross-rutted. Let's take a look at it. So just up into the final turn a lap ago. This was Jago Geerts tucking the front, disappearing, and then picking himself up. One of those days for Jago Geerts. Just needs to ride this one out and minimize those mistakes. Hope something falls his way later on. Roman Mostijk still hanging on the fourth. Liam Evans still pushing. A little bit too wide there for the Dutchman. Number 39 on the Benistant Husqvarna factory machine. Allows the Diga Procross KTM Evans 72 just to close in ever so slightly and apply the pressure once more on that fourth place. Ormo just gaining in the background. Look, the F&H Kawasaki, number 24. No way through for Everts, though. Takes a good long look at the pit board. Nothing more than he can do. Scale Electric at its best. But Vialle, 9.5 seconds clear of Benistant. The fight for fourth, though, between Van der Mostijk, Everts and Ormo, right there. Fantastic ride this for Tom Guyon, who's still 3 seconds clear of this fight for fourth. And there he is on the finish line now. Oh, Everts, front end just hitting an edge. Forced him to react. He managed to stay up. Almost lucky. Watch this here. Catches a hole about there. Stays upright and stays in fifth. That's allowed Ormo to get closer, but then Ormo makes his mistake at the top of the hill. Lets him off the hook. Two and a half minutes plus 2 laps remain. MX2 race 2 here. We are nearing the conclusion of this MX2 Grand Prix of Charente-Maritime at Saint-Jean-d'Angely. Another mistake out of that bottom turn. Turn 14 for Roman Van der Mostijk. Allows Everts to gain vital ground once again. Unless he can commit to the outside here. Not able to do that, then there's going to be no way through at the bottom of the hill. Still fancies that outside line, though, doesn't he, Everts? Ormo gaining as well, all over the back of the young Belgian, 18-year-old. And Guyon at the top of the hill, under attack from Van der Mostijk. So all of a sudden, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all in a freight train with 1.5 minutes to go. Ormo is going to find his way past Everts here. Oh, he's up on the bank and a little bit more. Everts put the squeeze on him. See him just kick the dirt away from the brake lever there, Everts. See the big clump of mud kicked away as he hit the finish line jump there. Wary after hitting that hole a lap ago, Everts. Under pressure all of a sudden. If he can weather this storm, that'll be another character-building experience for the son of the legend, but he's just too wide there at the top and gets out of the rut early. Hangs on to that fifth place. Ormo looking to regroup. Tom Guyon just out of sight now in blue. Still has a healthy advantage over Roman Van der Mostijk. Just over 1.5 seconds. He may just be able to ride this one out for a best ever finish in MX2, a third place finish in a race. But Tom Vialle, talk about doing a demolition job here at home. He has been absolutely unstoppable. What was crucial, he got ahead of Benistant and Geerts. Didn't get the Fox Holeshot, but he did get to turn 2 ahead of everybody else. From there, he weathered the storm from Benistant. And once he dropped the 198, he hasn't looked back, and he's opened up 10 seconds now over his compatriot. Two-lap board goes out for Vialle. This is going to be a big win for him if he can bring it home in the next 2 laps. He has been pretty faultless in this second race. Knows what it's like to win world championships. He's been in at the sharp end before. And when you're chasing the guy who's leading, who's the pressure on? The leader. Especially when that gap comes down. And Everts has a problem. Goes to the inside. Did he get hung up? Well, he just got squeezed here. Horgmo had a similar incident with De Wolf in the first race. This time it's Everts who feels the wrath of the Horgmo. Horgmo now up in the 5th place. But Tom Vialle. Who went 2-1 in Finland to stand on the top step of the podium. To get the championship lead down from 23 points to 15. Going to go 2-1 here at Saint-Jean-d'Angely to reduce the gap further to 2 points as we go into the final round in Turkey. He'll stand on the top step of the podium again. It'll be his 3rd Grand Prix victory on home soil, to add to La Capelle Marival last year and Ernée this year. But this one will be ever so sweet, I think. ...44 career podiums so far, 22 celebrated from the top step. So downhill for the final time. Tom Vialle, Red Bull KTM, just backing it off now because 7.7 seconds between him and Thibault Benistant. Back marker there. Here's Benistant, 1.98. Benistant, top of the hill. 5 podiums already this year. Sardinia was his first one, 3rd overall. France at Ernée was 3rd overall. He'll go one better here this weekend with 2nd. But Tom Vialle, stand-up wheelie for the Red Bull KTM rider as he celebrates in front of the home fans. As he goes past pit lane for the final time. The atmosphere electric. Takes one last look over his shoulder. And Tom Vialle almost home and dry. It has been a Vialle masterclass here at Saint-Jean today. 2nd in race 1. A convincing win in race 2. Vialle wins here in France at Charente-Maritime. His 3rd French Grand Prix victory. And a crucial one as well, because he now reduces the gap from 15 to 2 points as we head into the final round. Thibault Benistant celebrates with him as he celebrates 2nd overall. And Tom Guyon making it a 1-2-3 in the race for his best ever finish and 4th overall at his home round. Congratulations, Tom Guyon. Yes, that was probably Tom Guyon with the panic rev. Jago Geerts rounds out the final turn. Steve Ramon there, his trainer, just looking on as he does so. A disappointing day for the 93 on the Montreal Yamaha here. remedied on both sides from 2 falls at separate points during the race. Geerts will need to lick his wounds and stem the flow. Talk about contrast. Vialle rides away, celebrates in front of the fans, knowing that he's going to stand on the top step and going to be even closer to what is possibly a second title. Tom Vialle with his 42nd career race victory. His 15th of the season. And his 23rd career Grand Prix victory. What better place to do it than right here at home at Saint-Jean-d'Angely. Well, that woke the fans up, didn't it? Let's go down to Lisa with Tom Vialle.
Tom Vialle, you had a job to do this weekend, and you did it. That was a big win for you, a big win for the team and your championship.
Yeah, it was a good day. Oh, the fun is incredible. Every lap I go on the start, I can hear them, and yeah, just thanks to them because it pushed me a lot. I controlled a lot the second motor. I was feeling so good on the bike and also on the track. Yeah, thanks a lot to the whole team for the incredible work, and yeah, want to go in Turkey in 2 weeks, so I will be ready to fight again. Thank you so much.
Great job, Tom.
Tom Vialle, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, does a demolition job here this weekend. Second in race 1, a win, a convincing win in race 2. Brings the gap down from 15 to just 2 points as we head into the final round in Turkey. Talk about showdown. And he wins for the 3rd time on home soil. This one at Saint-Jean-d'Angely. Give you official confirmation then, MX2 race 2 result. The victory belongs to Tom Vialle ahead of Thibault, Benistant and Tom Guyon. What a ride for him. A French 1-2-3. Van der Moosdijk coming home 4th ahead of Kevin Horgmo, Liam Everts and Jago Geerts. Kai de Wolf rounds out the top 8. And just behind him, Andrea Adamo and Simon Langenfelder. Kai Karsmakers cross the line in 11th. And Mikkel Harup, Jakob Terezak, Joel Rizzi, Leopold Ambjornsson, Emil Weckman, Florian Lambion, Jan Panzer and Stefan Rubini, those two not finishing the race. What a day for Tom Vialle on the top step of the podium at home for the 3rd time in his career. He'll be joined by fellow countryman Thibault Benistant and Jago Geerts, 3rd overall, losing massive points here this weekend. Fantastic for Tom Guyon, rounding out in 4th ahead of Liam Everts in 5th. A look at the championship table reveals this. Jago Geerts now goes into the final round, 2 points clear of Tom Vialle. Simon Langenfelder has locked down 3rd. Kevin Horgmo and Thibault Benistant rounding out the top 5. The pressure is on at the final round. Who will it be that will be standing on the top step of the podium with the gold medal and the gold plate and a world title to go with it? Will it be Jago Geerts or Tom Vialle? Yamaha still lead the way in the manufacturer's standings. KTM there 2nd. No change, though, in those 7 positions. Gas, Kawasaki, Husqvarna, Honda and Suzuki there. Take a look at the Fox Holeshot right at the start of the race. And it was Tom Guyon with his first Fox Holeshot, his first black plate. 2 newcomers then. Andrea Adamo in race 1. Tom Guyon in race 2. It is going to be a noisy podium here. The MX2 Grand Prix of Charente-Maritime. Muted applause for Jago Geerts and Monster Energy Yamaha as he takes the third step of the podium with a third and a seventh. Second overall, Thibault Benistant, his Monster Energy Yamaha factory MX2 teammate, with a win and a second. But listen to the reception that Tom Vialle will get here. Tom Vialle, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing on the top step at home for the third time in his career. And this one more crucial perhaps than any one of them. The body language between Vialle and Geerts could not be more contrasting. Derek Grubel, take a bow, son. Your man is on the top step. And he is in 2 points behind the championship lead. Get in, that's what that was from Geerts, from Grubel. Stefan Pelou hands a third place trophy to Jago Geerts. Not sure that one will make it to the mantelpiece intact. Emmanuel Delaunay, McDonald's Saint-Jean d'Angely director, just up the road, top of the hill here. Ash Manton knows it well. Sébastien Poirier hands the winner's trophy to Tom Vialle, a three-time winner at home. La Capelle Marival last year, Ernay this year, and now Saint-Jean d'Angely. Sylvain Marchal, the mayor of Mazaret, handing the team trophy to Derek Grubel of Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, winners here this weekend. A crucial win for Tom Vialle. The gap now just 2 points between him and Jago Geerts, who continues to lead the championship. Mr. Antonio Alia Portela handing the red plate to Jago Geerts. Monster Energy Yamaha. A bittersweet day here for the Belgian. Just a sweet day for Tom Vialle, who will get to hear Les Marseillaises, the national anthem of France. Benistant, Jago Geerts is how it finishes here at the MX2 Grand Prix of Charente-Maritime at Saint-Jean d'Angely. The Red Bull KTM rider celebrating from the top step of the podium for the 23rd time in his career as he chases down a potential second world title with just one round to go. He has whittled the gap down to just 2 points as he wins here at home. Take a look at the highlights and then we'll catch up with the top three in just a few moments. A crucial race in the fight for the MX2 world title here at Saint-Jean d'Angely. Tom Guyon just edging out the Fox Holeshot for the first time, but as he ran wide, Vialle got on the gas, squeezed Benistant to the inside and Guyon into third place. Geerts emerging fourth there though, but then he was quickly shuffled back to sixth place. And from there, it was a tough fight. Mikkel Hara fell from around 6th or 7th early on. He would eventually come home in 12th on the Big Van World MTX Kawasaki. Geerts eventually got past Romain Mostijk to move into 4th on lap 6. But then this happened as he closed in on Tom Guyon. He tipped over. Van Mostijk went through, so too Liam Everts and Kevin Horgmo as the Belgian picked himself up. thoughts as to what was going through his head at the time. Liam Everts tried to find his way past Van der Moosdijk, who was stubborn and remained in fourth. Liam Everts fought gallantly to hang on to that fifth place, but then Horgmo got the better of him up the hill. Horgmo then made that move to go fifth. Everts had to be content with sixth. Jago Geerts then fell again later on in this turn here and remained in seventh, but it was a big day, big win for Tom Vialle. Crossing the line 5.4 seconds clear of Thibault Benistant to win the MX2 Grand Prix of Charente-Maritime.
Tom Vialle, that's back-to-back GP victories for you now. You got good starts which were needed. You closed that points gap to just 2 points now. Big weekend for you and on home soil. It can't get much better than that.
Yeah, it was incredible. Thanks to the whole fan, because to came so many people came today, and thanks a lot because it was pushing me a lot for the second moto. I really wanted to win this GP. Before, you know, it's my last one in France before leaving to America, so it was special for me to win. And yeah, for sure we closed the gap, so that's nice. We're gonna go to Turkey, and it's gonna be a great fight, and I really hope to make it good out there. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Second overall today, we have Thibault Benistant. Thibault, a race win, a second. You gave the fans exactly what they wanted with a sixth podium for you. Good weekend for you.
Yeah, actually my weekend was quite good, with a good speed, a good feeling all weekend. The fun was crazy. It was really nice to hear when we was riding. And yeah, second moto, Tom was really fast. I tried to push hard in the first few laps. But I tied a bit myself. I was a bit blocked, so it was difficult to relax during the moto. But yeah, I managed to stay second, and it's quite a solid weekend. So yeah, I feel good, and I want to thank all the people who come here to support me and the team.
Thanks, Thibault. Third overall today, we have Jago Geerts. Jago, don't know what to say really. A bad start in race 2. It was a frustrating day, but look, it's not over until it's over.
Yeah, for sure. Just had 2 pretty bad starts, and my riding was okay, but I just needed to take too much risk to pass the guys, and crashed 2 times second heat. So it was not a good day for me, but yeah, it's not over yet, and we have 1 race to go. So we will try to work hard the next 2 weeks and finish on high.
Thanks, Jago.
A disappointed Jago Geerts, Monster Energy Yamaha Factory MX2, rounding out the visit to Saint-Jean-d'Angely with a 3rd and a 7th and a massive dent in his championship lead. Started the day 15 clear of Vialle. He leaves here just 2 points ahead of the Frenchman. Thibault Benistant, he'll be pleased with his performance here. His 6th podium of the season, a race win and a second for second overall. Just what he ordered in front of the home fans. But Tom Vialle picking up his 9th Grand Prix victory of the season, his 23 career win as well. The only times he hasn't podiumed this year, round 2 in Lombardia, Germany and Czech Republic. But this one was crucial, possibly the most crucial, in taking that step to what could be a 2nd world title in 2 weeks' time. Still got some work to do though when we get to Turkey, but he'll celebrate this victory here today. And we will be back in just over a minute's time for MXGP Race 2. We'll see you then.